get into some Ring of Honor talk and all the
Oh
stuff
my
that you're
gosh.
doing between Ring of Honor, AEW, now with Mogul Embassy. This little hot combination that we've got going on. But let's talk Ring of Honor first. So much of the duration of your career there to now seeing what Tony Khan has been doing with Ring of Honor under the AEW umbrella. How has that changed? What Ring of Honor used to be to what it could be now?
Oh, forget it. Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor had deep pockets. All right, when Sinclair Broadcasting owned it, they had deep
Yeah,
pockets. But I'm just gonna be straight up. I'm gonna be straight up. I don't care. Abusive
right.
power. Abusive power.
Mm,
And they didn't necessarily know they were abusing power. So I don't want
yeah.
to make it seem like whatever. But when Carrie Silken,
What a
shout
nice
out
guy
to
he
Carrie
is, huh?
Silken, shout out to Carrie, but when Carrie
Shout out.
Silken owned the business,
Hmm.
he had his heart and soul and he had his foot in the business. He had his foot in it. And it was his, it was his thing. It was like, this is for me, and I kind of feel that with Tony. And
Yeah,
that's why the juices are flowing again, because he, as an individual who loves pro wrestling and that
yeah.
he is the new CEO of this, you know, famous, world acclaimed company, he does not want to see this lose under his direction. So
No.
that's why Ring of Honor, anyone who's on the roster right now, anyone who's working right now, is very lucky that we're working under this new administration. And don't get me wrong, we had people who, really loved what they were doing during the last administration, but the structure was way too corporate.
Okay.
This one is corporate also, but it was, the people that owned it really didn't care about it. It was just like something they bought because it was like, oh, it might make some money,
Yeah.
whatever, this and that. You know, Tony's not worried about the money right now, even though money is an
It's a
issue.
passion move for Tony more so than
Exactly.
it just being about the
Exactly.
business. Of course, business is business, and
Of
the man
course. Of
makes
course.
money based off of that. But when you see the passion of what he cares about in pro wrestling and being able to funnel those
Of
things
course.
together is really
Of
cool.
course. And it's a beautiful thing to see Ring of Honor go from, a company that, a lot of people don't know. I did a lot for the company behind the scenes as well.
Okay.
Um, to see it go from being what it was to what it is today, almost like a cornerstone for the rest of the major companies in
Hmm.
America and in the world.
Yeah.
So, I'm just glad to see that it's doing well. Glad to be back as one of the, cornerstones in the company. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, Out of everyone that's on the roster ever, I think like I was able to bring the most character to the company, you know,
Yeah.
and continue to, bring that character to the company in a different way with beasts like Brian Cage and Gates of Agony,
Hmm.
who are killing it right now as the six-man world champions. And then on the flip side of things, with the cool, calm, and collected Swerve Strickland,
This
let
guy.
me tell
Talk
you
to me
something.
about
Oh my
Swerve. That
gosh. Let
guy.
me tell you something. I've known Swerve Strickland his whole career, and to see him go from the day one when I met him, hi, how are you? Hey, hi, how are you, sir? Nice to meet you, sir. To who he is today,
Yeah.
unbelievable. So proud of him. He is going to be a problem. He is going to be a problem in the wrestling industry. Give it
Yeah.
6 more months of what we have planned and what we're going to put together and the affiliates that we have involved that we're going to be bringing into the picture. Renee,
Ooh, I'm excited to
you
see.
remember the last time we had a burger together? We're going to have some shrimp cocktail together
Yeah.
next time. All right.
That was a good burger, but
Guaranteed.
I will take you up on a little shrimp cocktail. Let's go. Let's get a seafood tower, if you
There
will.
you
Put that
go.
on
There you go. I
ice.
love
Let's
cocktails.
go. Um, Swerve really does like watching him, like, of course, watching him in the ring and watching him as a performer, he's outstanding. but seeing the way his mind works and the hustle behind the things that you can see that he wants to accomplish, it's not so much I would even say that it's a chip on his shoulder, but just like the need to like continue to expand what pro wrestling is. I mean, even when you see like the names from outside pro wrestling that he brings in and wants to attach himself to,
Right.
and you guys must connect on a certain level. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you came from the music industry as well.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, just for you guys to have that connection combined with pro wrestling
Oh
is really
man.
neat.
It's right now it's now or never because like
Yeah.
everything came together and it's not like I was sitting here like, oh, I gotta get close to Swerve because he's working with Rick Ross. Like I'm not that. Like I told you, I stopped doing the photography thing to focus on
Yeah.
me. So like it's nice to meet Rick Ross and it's nice to meet this rapper and that rapper, but we're all trying to feed our families here. That's why we're here. Rick Ross
Yeah.
is showing up to AEW because he loves this stuff and he realizes and recognizes who Tony Khan is, who Swerve is, what the Embassy Mogul is about, and they want to be involved with it. And that's why I fell in love with Swerve. Swerve, you know, learned the craft for the last 15 years. You know, did
Hmm.
it at a level where he was just hey, putting guys over. Hey, I'm just here. I'm not really being too loud. Because he
Yeah.
knew there were
Yeah.
people in front of him. And hey, hi, how you doing? Doing great, phenomenal matches. Some matches were great, some matches weren't great. He learned, he cried, he has kids, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now, with with everything he's learned and the connections he's made, and with the things that I've learned and the connections I've made, the people I've worked with in the music industry and the people I've worked with in the wrestling industry,
Shit's about
together.
to be popping off.
Oh my gosh. It together it's gonna be nuts because already the people outside of the industry are looking like, okay, we want to be a part of this. What can we do to enhance this more? And me and Swerve now are on a different level of our relationship. Like our relationship before was great, but now it's even more better because I guess deep down inside, and I didn't know this, but deep down inside, maybe I wanted to work with Swerve
Okay.
and I think
Yeah.
deep down inside, and he probably didn't know it, he wanted to work with the embassy and me. So, like, the thing going on right now, it's a match made in heaven. I just feel sorry for a lot of the people out there the pillars and all of these different things, all these things I hear. All right. I really feel sorry for these guys because, it's time for us to take what's ours. I'm
What?
sorry to start talking crazy like that on the show,
No, I love it. Let it fly. It's true though. I
Renee.
mean, you look at your career, you look at what Swerve brings to the table. I think this new unit coming together is definitely perking a lot of interests.
Don't get me wrong. Brian Cage is a monster too.
Sure is.
He's my original monster, and I think there's no other. Forget it. Like since I came here through the grace of God in July, there's no. Yes, we've lost a couple of matches, but there's no force greater than the mobile embassy.
What all do you guys want to accomplish when you look at maybe it's other acquisitions that you guys are bringing into Mogul Embassy? We've got this gigantic roster, whether you're pilfering from people in AEW, you're looking at who's on the Ring of Honor roster. There's tons of people to kind of pick
We're
and
not
choose
looking,
from.
Renee. We're not looking for any slackers.
No, who
No, we're not looking.
is?
You gotta be ready to do this. We are at the peak of what we call readiness. Okay, like
Yeah.
we're ready to go out there, ready to move the dial, and to change the outcome of what people expect things to be. And you'll feel it. You'll see it in the promos. You'll see it in the work in the ring that we're tired. Okay, that we're tired of just going through the motions. We do this.
Mhm.
We're dangerous people.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stress it. It looks like a joke. Oh, we're in the money. But I'm a very dangerous individual when it comes to this business of wrestling and what we do in the ring and how the business is presented. So I just want to make that clear to anyone on the AEW and ROH roster that please do not take this as a joke or take this lightly. We're going to be working hard in the ring. We're going to be working hard in the back. We're going to be stretching people. We're going to be politicking. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that everyone in our stable is happy and that our families are fed and that we can go home with a smile on our face. And that's pretty much, this is where we're starting. We're starting with Darby. You know, Darby is someone that we've, Swerve has trained him to be who he is today. Look at that match.
Sure.
Look at
Yeah.
the match he won that day.
Yeah.
The only reason why he won that match against Swerve is because Swerve taught him how to be that way, how to be a beast. Okay, and we're just testing him out. And it's on to the next story with Keith Lee. Someone else that we need to teach a lesson very soon. And I'm not fond of a lot of people.
You're not fond of who?
I'm not fond of a lot of people. All
Oh.
right. I might say hi, but that don't mean I like you.
Sure. You got to be nice to someone's face. Doesn't mean you're going to not feel a different way when they have their back to you.
I like you, though. You and Max.
You better keep it that way. I'm watching you.